So it is currently 8:15 p.m. I just got home and I got an itch of uploading a YouTube video, because it's been since the 1st of January was the last time I uploaded a video. So I was like, you know what, it's been a while. I wouldn't mind uploading a video, a tier list. So I was thinking Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, DC, and I was like, no, you know what, let's do Marvel first. My second ever tier list video for movies. Last time I watched these movies was less than 2 years ago. I watched all of them in one go for the first time, a lot of them. I'm gonna rank it from release order, and I've decided I'm going to rank these movies against each other. So if a movie is S tier, that doesn't necessarily mean it's S tier on the same level as like John Wick, The Dark Knight. It's not as good as those movies, but relative to each other's, yes, it's the best out of the bunch. I am a DC fan, but I acknowledge that the Marvel movies are clear. They're so much better. But here we go. First one, Iron Man. So with Iron Man, yeah, it's not a C tier, I'm just putting it there. Robert Downey Jr. is perfect casting. He is the face of the MCU. I thought he was finished actually after Iron Man, because he made a movie called Little Do or something and flopped, but then Oppenheimer came out and he won an Oscar now, so you know what, good on him. He's a great actor. In terms of the movie, I'd say the first 2/3 of the movie, Act 1 and Act 2, excellently paced. Character development. Tony starts off as like a dick, basically. He's calling, you know what, he's a dickhead basically, but he turns into a better man. You know, he makes a suit to help people. What? Is it? Okay. As I was saying, I think I said the first 2 acts are good. So, yeah. The reason for Act 3 not being good, in my opinion, is the villain. I forgot his name, but I think it's Ironmonger. He's shit. I don't like him. I liked him before he became Ironmonger. Like, this movie didn't need a villain. The antagonistic force was Tony Stark, like himself, you know? If that makes sense. Like, I reckon that they could have worked around it. They didn't need that guy. They didn't need Ironmonger. So, however, enough of shitting on it. The praise, time to praise it. It is well paced, fucking badass. He goes to Afghanistan, I think it is, just to beat the shit out of them, and it's so cool. I like this movie. And also, for some, I don't know why, but I like every now and then I rewatch a lot of scenes in movies, and one that I always rewatch is Tony Stark wearing his suit for the first time, the grey suit. I don't know why, it's so cool. So I'm not sure, it's either an A or an S plus. There's a lot of good movies coming up. I'll move it down. I'll give S plus to 3 movies or shows, and if I find 3 of them are better, I'll put it down. But for now, it's an S plus. Next up is Incredible Hulk. Haven't seen. I don't want to ever see this because Mark Ruffalo is the good one. I'm not a fan of Edward Norton. He's just weird. I don't know. So I know it's probably a hot take, but I just don't like him. Never going to watch this movie. I just don't want to. I've seen the effects. I mean, you don't need good effects to be a good movie, but don't want to see it. Anyway, Iron Man 2. By the way, that's the only movie I haven't seen up to like Endgame, I think. Iron Man 2. Significantly worse from the first one. It's so boring, man. Actually, when he's like when he's like an emotional fucking wreck, basically, like Tony Stark, I mean, the movie's pretty entertaining, you know. He had, and then the whole like him changing his heart thing, I couldn't care less, to be honest. They could have cut that entirely out. The whole court scenes and all that was alright, but Whiplash, I think his name was, the guy with like the guy that just appears out of nowhere in the racetrack. He somehow knew that Tony Stark would be, you know, Tony Stark made a spontaneous decision to go on the racetrack, and I think he just appears. I don't know, man, it was some bullshit. Not good movie, really boring. Don't want to watch it again. There's some stinkers, I'm going to leave it an E, because there's definitely going to be more Fs. Thor 1. A lot of people don't like this movie, but I actually quite like it. It's very slow paced, which I don't mind. I like slow paced movies. I mean, superhero slow paced movies, they can drag because, you know, my mentality is, or my expectations are, I want to see action. For the most part, when I walk into a superhero movie, so the first half is like, you know, character development and, you know, Thor adjusting to Earth and all that. Give it like a D. It's definitely better than Iron Man 2. Chris Hemsworth is good as Thor, although he becomes better later on because, oh wait, yeah, okay. This is why I don't like the Star Wars prequels. Well, there's so many reasons why I don't, but one of them is the way they talk when they speak formally, when they speak like that, like almost Shakespearean. I fucking hate that. It doesn't make them relatable at all. They seem like aliens. I mean, technically they are aliens, but it's horrible. No. That almost means, because like I don't understand what they're saying. It's like when I watched Macbeth, which was a horrible play. It's like the same. Like I just don't understand it. Nah, please. No one likes when the dialogue is like that, but yeah, it's still better than Iron Man 2. This movie is so good. I'm not gonna lie. Captain America, the first one, I was so surprised because everyone said this movie was shit. At least all my friends did. So I was like, okay, time to watch a movie just as mid as Thor, but it's good. The relationship between the trio of Steve, Bucky, and Peggy, is that her name? The main love interest. Those three as a trio work really well in this movie because they both have a thing for Peggy, but I think that's her name. And then she likes Steve. But the good thing is that she had a thing for him even when he was super skinny. So like it's believable. It's great. That scene where Steve Rogers there's a grenade, right? While they're training, and everyone's like, "Fuck, run away!" because it's about to explode. He goes up to it, and oh man, it's so good. He goes up to it, and he like basically saves everyone, but it doesn't go off. But it just shows the character of Steve, like he's willing to sacrifice himself. Steve Rogers is probably the best character in the entire series, in my opinion, because he's just such a heartwarming guy. There's a scene in Endgame that was very well deserved, but yeah, B. One of the better Phase 1 movies. Now we have the Avengers. The Avengers. A lot of people love this movie. I like this movie. The dialogue, okay, this is where the dialogue got really annoying. Like right. Fuck me. Okay. I like Marvel movies. This is not their fault, but they marveled everything. When I say that, I mean like when you watch Fast and Furious, they have Marvel dialogue. You watch DC, especially Justice League, such a shit movie. They have Marvel dialogue. Like, you know what I mean? Like the shit jokes, the horrible. Just this movie started it, and I can't forgive it for that. So, but it's at the same time, it's such a fun movie. The first 10 minutes is probably the worst 10 minutes of the worst opening 10 minutes of the entire trilogy. I think it's horrible. But then after that, it's a lot of fun. Loki is really good in the entire trilogy, in the entire franchise. So, you know, it gets points for that. And it is very iconic. I'm very young, so I kind of remember the impact, but not really. So it is better than Captain America, but it might still be in the same tier, because it's probably the third best Avengers movie. If you include Civil War, it's probably the fourth best. So maybe that's a hot take, but I just don't respect the way it's influenced the 20th century, like as in like how shit movies got because of it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Next one, Iron Man 3 is so good. It's all my days. It's so good. I love Iron Man 3. So okay, I think the best thing is the action. Yes, the Marvel movies are better, but the DC action. I don't like the Dark Knight trilogy action. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. The action's really shit though, I'm not gonna lie. But like Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, amazing action, amazing choreography. And Marvel movies just don't have that. But Iron Man 3 does have it, man. The action's really good. The scene where he saves people from a plane, that's really good. There's a scene where Tony Stark is like handcuffed, I think. And he's versing these two villains, like these two like wackos, and he basically uses, because he's really fucking smart, as you know, he uses his brain to beat them. Like I think he like burns down a building, I don't know, but he had no suit, that's the point, and he still beat them because, you know, it's almost a super power. It's his brain. So that was a really cool scene. The villain was alright. I like the actor. I think it was Guy Pearce. He was good, but the ending was shit though. A post-credit scene where he said no more suits, and then, you know, the next movie, Age of Ultron, he comes back. That was weird. I don't know why they did that. Iron Man 3 is a lot of fun though. Action's really good. Tony Stark is always good. Yeah, I think I'll keep it an A tier. Next up, yeah, this is forgettable, man. This is not good. Is it worse than Iron Man 2? They're both. Their main problem is boring. They're so boring. Like the thing with, like, here's an example. This is not Marvel, but FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, last year, shit movie. But it's so entertaining that I would way rather watch it over Thor 2 and Iron Man 2, because they are worse, but they're entertaining. I hate boring movies, man. Actually, you know what? No, this is F. This is I don't. The villain, I don't remember because he's shit. The Thor is shit. He's really bad in this one. And this is a bit of spoilers, but this is not even the worst Thor movie. I can't say anything because I don't remember. I remember I watched this movie and I just felt empty inside by the end of it. I was like, okay, I just wasted two and a half hours. Boring. Next movie. Ooh, this is a banger. This might be S+, you know. Is it better than Iron Man? It might be. It may be. Okay. Captain America Winter Soldier. Bucky is so cool. He's one of the coolest characters in the franchise. He's one of the coolest characters, but he's not presented very well after this movie. But in this movie, he's so cool. The fact that Captain America has to adapt. I like when characters, like in the first Thor movie, when he has to adapt to this like Earth. You know, he's spent in 15,000 years in Asgard. Now he's got to live on Earth all of a sudden for like a couple years. Captain America is the same, except he lives 100 years in the future. I think that's so cool the way they did that. The action's alright. You know, it's very Marvel-y, but it's good enough. Black Widow is kind of shit, as always. Nick Fury's mid, but Bucky and Captain America carry, especially Bucky, man. And I think the actual like the story of the whole like, I think it was the Nazi. Oh, what? Okay. There is a scene where the Nazi, there's like a robot or computer or something, and they put in like a German accent to the computer, so he sounded Nazi. Bro, it was it was a serious scene. I couldn't stop laughing, man. That was poor, but oh god, yeah. Anyway, the script was good though, and it was like the whole city was getting bombed. Yeah, good movie. I would rewatch this. Guardians of the Galaxy. My brother despises this movie. Like, it's really, it's kind of funny, but it is good. I agree with my brother in terms of how overrated it is. People say it's the best Marvel movie. My best friend's mum says it's the best movie or one of her favorite movies. I have to disagree. Okay, I like all the characters. No, I'm not gonna lie, all the characters are really good. But the thing is, wow, I can't think of a reason why I don't like this movie, to be honest. It's okay. I can think of one reason, but it's just completely has nothing to do with the movie. It's just me. Actually, I can think of two reasons, but I'll go with the first one. I don't like silly movies, if that makes sense. So, okay, people won't like this because when you watch a silly movie, like, okay, like that's kind of the point. Like, you're meant to have fun with this movie, but I have always preferred serious movies. You know, emotion movies. That's not the right word. You know what I mean? Impactful movies with a meaning. To be fair, this movie does impact you pretty hard. I'm trying to convince myself that this movie's not good. It's actually pretty good. My second reason, though. What was my second reason? Oh, I remember now. Second reason was that because this movie did so well, the future Marvel movies kind of copied this movie in terms of how silly it was, in terms of the jokes, similar to the first Avengers movie. And I just don't like that. It's not just Marvel movies as well. There's a lot of movies that act like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I'll keep it in B. I think I'll keep a high B. I haven't been ordering these, I've just been, but this one's definitely a high B. Although, still overrated. Okay, Avengers Age of Ultron. This movie was better than I expected, but it's only because everyone said it was horrible. Is it only one level under Avengers? It's probably 2 levels under. Yeah, it's about as good as Thor. There's a lot of good things. Hawkeye is the best. Well, I haven't seen the show Hawkeye, but Hawkeye's really good in this, and I'm a huge fan of Hawkeye. Ultron is sick. There's a movie that I used to love when I was like a kid. It was Ultron versus like the Avengers children, like when they were like 12 or something. It was an animated movie, and I've loved Ultron since, and he's honestly pretty cool in this movie. A lot of the characters are cool, like Hulk is good, Vision is good, but there's a really bad section where they go to, I think it was Hawkeye's house, literally just to hang out, and they do the same thing at the party. They hang out, but I don't think anything bad was happening in the world. I don't even think Ultron was born when they were at the party. When they were in Hawkeye's house, they hanged out, developed a plan for like 24 hours. And while they were doing that, Ultron was killing people, he was developing his master plan. You know, it was a waste of like half an hour. Like, delete that, or at least trim it, and this movie would have been so much better. Although, oh yeah. And the jokes. Oh, there's a lot of jokes, man. Ultron making jokes as well. Yeah, no. This is phase 2. Phase 2 has too many jokes. Phase 3 has jokes as well, but they're actually like funnier. Like if that, yeah. let's just say this: if I was to rewatch all the Marvel movies, which I won't for a long time, but Age of Ultron will be one of them that I would not look forward to. Ooh, Antman. I used to love this movie, man. So I didn't really watch the Marvel movies growing up. I watched a lot of the animation movies, but Ant-Man was probably what made me start watching these movies, was because I really liked this movie. Paul Rudd is so charismatic. I love Paul Rudd. He's a great actor. Hank, is that his name? He's good as well. The Wasp, she's pretty decent. But the movie itself, action is good. I like the action, bro. When he's tiny to the point where you can't see him and you just see people flying everywhere for no reason, that's sick. I really like that. I've always preferred small Ant-Man like over the huge one. I don't like it when he becomes huge. It's boring. I like it when he's smaller. The fight choreography is cooler. Okay, in terms of story, I think his name was Yellow Jacket, the villain. He was pretty shit. I remember they had a huge missed opportunity. So they were basically they were explaining that the villain, like why the villain was so evil, and they implied that the thing that makes him small, whatever technology that is, like, was driving him crazy. It was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then they never really explored it again. So not sure what happened with that. But not gonna lie, purely due to nostalgia, because me and my best friend at the time, I think I was in primary school, we used to watch this movie like, we must have watched it like 5-6 times. It was on Netflix. Yeah, good movie. Purely for nostalgia to see. You know, the Captain America's trilogy is so good. Oh, man. Okay, here's the thing. I said in the beginning that I can only have 3 movies up top, and I know another one's going to get up there. I'll put it S for now. Ooh. Okay. This feels like an Avengers movie. Let's be honest. This Spider-Man was introduced. That was really cool. Tom Holland, easily the best, maybe not easily, but the best Peter Parker. Actually, no, the best Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire's the best Peter Parker, but anyway. Spider-Man was introduced. Black Panther was sick in this movie. Black Panther is so cool in this movie, and the fact that he gets so much worse from here on out sucks. The Bucky Winter Soldier, like, there was more of them and all that. I didn't need that in that movie. There was a scene where where that guy, I forgot his name, he was showcasing to the Avengers why they need to be separated. You know, because they destroyed cities, and you know, like this is their fault, and it's like, no, it's not. The aliens fucking invaded them. If they weren't there, then fucking and the entire city would be blown up if the Avengers weren't there. So that was dumb. The reason for them being separated is dumb, except for maybe because Captain America and Iron Man never liked each other, so that makes sense. But fighting over that, I don't buy it. Yeah, it may go a bit down to A, because their actual reasoning for fighting each other, to me, I don't buy it. The action is good, the characters are good. The other Winter Soldier's not as good. Yeah, I think I'll give it an A tier. Doctor Strange. The introduction was so good. Like when, you know, he clearly establishes he's an amazing surgeon, and then he crashes, he can't use his hands anymore. You know, he seeks out how to fix, like, that first, I don't know, half an hour or so was really well done. I was fully buying this movie. And then as soon as the magic arrived, the quality decreased. This movie reminds me of Inception, and I love Inception. It's literally, it is my favorite movie. Just for that, it gets points. Just because it reminds me of Inception. But I'm not gonna lie, what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch? He's a really good Doctor Strange. Like, he looks like him and everything. I think he's good. What happens in this movie? So the villain was oh yeah, so the villain was, I don't know his name, but it's the guy who played a villain in James Bond. He was shit. He was horrible. I don't know why I was in the movie. I don't remember. Dormammu was cool, but he was in like the last 10 minutes of the film. So he wants to use the time stone. He develops a time stone and like, you know, experiments with it and all that. And then the ancient one, I think that's her name, was prohibiting him from using it more and all that. That was interesting. Anything to do with like the stones, I'm buying it. Like even in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, they were hinting at the stone. That was cool as well. That's the thing with Marvel in general, is that they were really building up, especially that first 10 years, they were really building up the whole franchise up to Infinity War. Or actually no, up to Endgame. That for the first 11 years it was amazing to watch, man. As a collective, the franchise, well done, man, well done. Like compared to DC, no. Anyway, Doctor Strange, Time Stone, developing his powers itself is pretty cool. Wong is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I'll give it a B. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This movie's good, you know. I remember people say this movie's not good, but it's actually good. I like it. It's about as good as the first one. The villain... Oh, that's what... Okay. The villain in the first movie is horrible. I think his name's Ronan. But I don't even remember him. All he does... he dances with them. You know what I mean? Like, that's too campy for me. That's too silly. He dances with them at the end. The second villain, Peter Quill's dad, I think his name's Ego. He was a way better villain, man. He had clear motivations. He was powerful as hell. Well, really, I don't like how Peter... Oh yeah, so Peter Quill is half god. No, not god. Half planet. I don't know, man. He's half strong, basically. You know, I don't like when movies do that. Star Wars did that with Rey, and it's like, nah, dumb. I have a lot of B's, man. Yeah, I'd say it's about as good as the first one. The characters are even better. This movie is way more emotional as well. I found it emotional, I'm not gonna lie. Probably the most emotional movie so far. Yeah. It might be better than the first one, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is a good movie. I agree it's not as fun as the first one. But I don't look for that in a movie yet. Fun fact about me, comedies are my least favorite genre. I'm not a fun person, I guess, but when I watch a movie, I look for good themes. I look for, you know, like action. No, okay, not action. Mystery's my favorite. I love thrillers. I do like action, although sometimes too much action is shit. Romance. I prefer romance, but comedy is it's not my thing. Even though the second Guardians of the Galaxy has a lot of comedy in it, it's not overwhelming, if that makes sense. So I like this one. It's probably a hot take to put the second one over the first one, but good movie. Ooh, this movie is so underrated, man. Oh, might be S tier. Yeah, it's better than Civil War. The best Spider-Man movie, if you don't include the animated ones, Into the Spider-Verse. It's better than the Sam Raimi trilogy. It's better than the ones that came after it. That twist with the villain being that girl's dad. I forgot the girl's name. That surprised me, man. I was surprised. Good villain. Spider-Man's amazing. Peter Parker's good as well. Peter Parker's shit later on, but he's like as like this quirky, awkward kid. He's portrayed very well in this movie. It's probably the funniest movie in the whole. It's so good, man. This is such a. You know, people prefer the other Home, like the two movies that came after it in the trilogy. But I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the best Spider-Man movie. Yeah, no, it's great. What else? Ned, he's hilarious. Yeah, easy. Maybe not easy, but great, lovely S tier. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my days. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then Spider-Man, and then Thor Ragnarok, and before that, from 2016 to 2018, Marvel was at their peak, man. I think all Phase 3, that was good. Thor Ragnarok, oh, it's almost an S tier as well. Oof, I'll put it an A. I am so surprised how good this movie is. Thor has 2 shit movies, 1 mid movie, and then an incredible movie. Like, that's so weird. So Chris Hemsworth is a good actor, but he just wasn't utilized correctly in the first 2 movies and in Age of Ultron and all that. So this is the first time where he's good. Actually, he's amazing. He's actually pretty funny. Hulk is good. Oh yeah, Hulk's really good in this movie. Hela, I think that's her name. She's a good villain. So all the characters are portrayed very well. The colors, bro. I'm not that knowledgeable with like cinematography and colors and stuff, but this movie popped. Like it stands out. And anything to do with Loki and Thor was hilarious. Like them, like Loki pretending not to know Thor, and then and Thor throwing Loki at the villains. That was good. The fight between Thor and Hulk. I love that because my favorite animated Marvel movie, if you don't count the Spider-Verse movies, is Planet Hulk. That movie is no one talks about that movie, but that movie is amazing. I love Planet Hulk, and that Thor Ragnarok reminds me of Planet Hulk. A tier, better than Civil War, almost S tier, and that stretch from 2016 to 2018, lovely. Okay, next one, Black Panther. Pretty decent. I remember when I watched it, I loved it on release, and then upon rewatch, it just gets worse and worse. That final fight, okay, I don't care. I really don't care if a movie looks shit. I'm one of those people that doesn't care if a movie looks good either. Well, sorry, when I say that, I mean animation and I mean CGI. I don't care if they look shit or if they look good. I do care if the cinematography looks bad, but even then, that last when the CGI is so bad that you don't even know what's going on, which is what happens in this movie in the last fight when it was Black Panther versus fucking Yellow Panther, whatever his name is. I couldn't see it. So the final fight was bad. Black Panther himself is not as cool as he was in Civil War. Civil War, he was cold. He was doing his one-liners that was like to Captain America, and Captain America was scared of Black Panther. That's crazy. Wakanda was portrayed so well. That's some good world building. That's probably the best world building in the whole trilogy, more than Asgard. There was a time where I watched a video about this and I was like, yeah, you're right. So Killmonger, that's his name. Killmonger steals something from a museum, right? And then Black Panther's chasing him. He throws a grenade at Black Panther, who's got this vibranium suit. You know, a grenade's not going to do shit. He runs away, and then Black Panther stays there. He goes in a car, and then Black Panther just leaves him. In Civil War, he runs faster than cars. Yeah, this time he leaves Killmonger. I don't like when movies do that, when they do something over plot convenience rather than over like an actual reason. So, anyway, I admit that's very nitpicky, but don't care. I don't give a shit about any of the other characters. I think Bucky's in this. You see what I mean? Bucky's horrible in this. I barely remember him. The other character, I think Black Panther has like a love interest, and no one watches this movie for the love interest. Everyone watches it for the action or for I don't know what else. C mid. It's not as good as Antman, but it's on the same tier. Guys. The only top 10 movie ever. This movie is like, I fucking love this. I've had some incredible movie cinema experiences. My best one was when I watched Interstellar on IMAX very recently. That was incredible. But my second favorite was watching Infinity War. Ooh, man, like, okay. The thing with Infinity War is I'm still shocked by how well it's paced. I watched this movie probably 7, 8, 9 times. Okay, maybe not, but like 5, 6, 7 times. Man, not once have I ever been bored. The tensions get higher throughout the whole movie. Most characters get shined, except for like maybe Thor. No, not Thor. Hulk. Hulk doesn't get much screen time. Thor gets a lot of screen time. Thor's really good. But the main reason for this movie being so good is Thanos. Holy shit, Thanos! One of the best villains ever portrayed in a movie. Probably the second best superhero villain behind the Joker. the Dark Knight Joker. Excuse me. Oh my god, the action is good, bro. The action's incredible, actually. That scene where Thanos uses one of his stones on his gauntlet and then throws a moon on Iron Man. That was so sick. That was the coolest thing, bro. I remember watching in the cinema with my best friend at the time. 6 years. This movie came out 6 years ago. Oh my days. 2024. Oh my days. Okay, bro. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. 6 years. Anyway. Wow, I'm shocked. Anyway, enough of that. Infinity War, incredible movie. Oh, but now an S tier has to go down. Okay. So Spiderman Homecoming, Iron Man. I think it has to be Iron Man, you know, surprisingly, because the third act of Iron Man is just not good. Whereas Winter Soldier and Spider-Man and Infinity War, the whole movie's great. So, yeah. More on Infinity War though. Thanos is crazy good. Like he's intimidating. He has quotes. The entire movie has quotes that people still use. Like every now and then a meme pops up with like an Infinity War reference. Like this movie is iconic, man. Arguably the next movie is more iconic, but sorry, not this one. This one I mean. But great movie, amazing experience. Very, very, very rewatchable. Iron Man's amazing in it. Iron Man's probably the best in this movie. This might be a hot take, but Iron Man 3 maybe is better. And Iron Man 1, okay, no, I'll take it back. But Tony Stark's amazing. Thor is sick. The Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor. The characters. The thing that Marvel does well is that the characters are always. It's like Stranger Things. You don't watch the movies for the story. You watch it for the characters and for the action. So, yeah, the characters are really good. Anyway, moving on. Oh my days. Oh my fucking god, this movie is so shit. Bro, how do you follow up Infinity War with Ant-Man and the Wasp? Oh man, no, okay. I'm not gonna lie, the first Ant-Man is very underrated. I put it C tier, maybe should have put it higher, but there's a lot of B tiers, that's why. This one is shit. This one's horrible. The only reason why I ever rewatched this, actually no, I stopped rewatching the Marvel movies at Infinity War. Not because, partly because Infinity War was so good I didn't want to keep watching, but also because I did not want to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's fucking shit. The Wasp is boring in this one. The Wasp is cool in the previous one, but they're really bad in this one. Even Ant-Man himself is boring. The villain, I don't remember the villain. I think the villain could like glitch through things. I don't know. Bad movie. Very forgettable. This is what I'm saying. Forgettable movies are going down there. They're going in the dump. Captain Marvel, another mid movie, man. It's probably D tier, right? It's probably the worst one. It might be E tier, you know. This is another reason why I stopped watching at Infinity War, because, you know, if it was Ant-Man and the Wasp and then a good movie, I was like, you know what, fine, I'll watch it. But it's back-to-back shit movies. Captain Marvel, no one likes the character of Captain Marvel. She's very egotistical. She's very. This is where the whole women are strong thing happened. Don't get me wrong, that's great. But when you overdo it with so many movies, okay, you know what? They started it, so I don't know if I should give this movie slack for it, because nah, you know what? I'll take it back. Just because they started doesn't mean. Although I did give shit for Avengers for doing that. You know, yeah. Anyway, the villain. Who the fuck was the villain? Oh, the shapeshifters. Cool concept. Pretty. You know what? I actually quite like the villains. It might be a D tier, but I don't know, man. It's just the story was alright. Nick Fury was great in this movie. Yeah, you know, it's not that bad. I just really don't like Captain Marvel as a character. And okay, the thing with DC, they handle Superman very well in terms of how strong he is. With Captain Marvel, I feel like she's too strong for the universe. in the same way that Superman's too strong, but they still handle, like, he has a weakness, which is kryptonite. But they also like use other strategies. But Captain Marvel doesn't have any weaknesses, at least I think. So made her way too strong. I hate how she's in Endgame. Bro, I wish she yeah, that was shit. Yeah, I just don't like the character. That's why she's so low down. The thing with, I mean, this is basically you have to like the main protagonist to like the movie, or at least partially. But I think that's especially true for superhero movies and Marvel movies because they carry the franchise. So, yeah. Avengers Endgame. This is probably the hardest one to rank. Some people have this as S tier, other people have an E tier because it's just should it be the highest grossing movie of all time? Yes. This Marvel deserved it. 11 straight years of pretty good movies, especially for, like, as I said, from 2016 to 2018, amazing movies. But for 11 years straight, they were building this franchise that people love, like a faithful adaptation, maybe not faithful, but a good adaptation of the comics, all coming out to this one movie, Avengers Endgame. I'm not gonna lie, it lived up to the hype. It was a good movie, especially on release. It was a very good movie. I don't think I've seen it since, 2019. So I'm old. It's been 5 years, but I liked it when it came out. I've never rewatched it. Okay, let's talk about this. Thanos, shit, fucking horrible in this movie. That's the only thing I didn't like when I first watched it. Thanos was. I remember I was waiting. Like, I remember when he died, and I was like, oh, I can't wait for Thanos to come back. Nope, he doesn't come back. He's significant down drop from the first one. The timeline was sick when they went everyone. The entire second act was just them going through. I agree. It's not really a good movie, but it's a good fan service movie. That makes sense. So I'll put it in B tier. I think. The entire third act was so good as well. All three acts are good. Like the first one, when they clearly established, everyone's depressed. They killed Thanos off in the first 20 minutes or something. That was insane. I remember, like, what the fuck. And then Iron Man's having a good life. He has to make a sacrifice to go back in time. All that good stuff. And then the timeline stuff, great stuff. And then an entire hour or more than an hour of just action. And you know what? With any other movie, I'll give them slack for that if there's an entire hour of action. But because it's Endgame, I have to give them a pass because, first of all, the action was pretty well done. The battlefield was shit. It was just grey and everything. I don't like the battlefield, but the action itself is cool. This is why my dad doesn't like these movies. Way too many characters. And I have to agree with him. Let's think about this. Hulk. Oh no, Hulk's good in this movie. I'll take it back. Hulk was very good. Because I'm just remembering that half of them were fucking dead. I think when they came back, it was very overwhelming. When they all came, it was cool, but it was way too many characters to keep track of. But I don't know. This is a very hard movie to rank. I'm leaning more towards B than anything else. Yeah. It's I feel like if I rewatched it, I would have to watch it with someone else. Otherwise, I'd fall asleep. Because if I watch it by myself, nah. So, but because it was such a significant event, everyone talked about this movie. Like, I would scroll through Instagram, and it'll just be about. This is how I started watching YouTube videos about movies in general, but because of Endgame, because I wanted to know, like, okay, what are people's theories on what will happen in the Endgame? Actually, the title wasn't even out, so it was just like people were predicting the title, people were predicting what will happen, through the trailers. I was obsessively trying to figure out what would happen in Endgame, and because of Endgame, I started watching more YouTube content on movies. It'll stay in B, but it has a good place in my heart. Ooh. There's a lot of B tiers, I can see why people say this franchise is mid. because there's a lot of movies are in B. But you know what? C is mid though. So a lot of movies are slightly above mid. So that's a testament to how good they were back then. But yeah, Far From Home, that twist where Jake Gyllenhaal was everything was fake. Oh, that was I know it's a superhero movie, but that is one of the best twists I've ever seen. Like I had no idea. There's no way anyone had an idea that was the twist, that everything was fake. That was sick. That was really well done. Jake Gyllenhaal is really well done. Peter Parker's shit, but Spider-Man is pretty cool, especially his suit later on. The action was good when he was versing those like sand and water golem things. That was cool. His relationship with him and MJ got better. This is where MJ became more of a character. It's a pretty solid movie, you know. It's probably the best in this B tier. It's almost A tier. It might be A tier, you know, just barely though. But yeah, I'd say it's better than all these B tiers. Oh, WandaVision. The first episode was boring as fuck. The second one got a little bit better. Okay, this is the first Marvel show I watched, like MCU Marvel show, and it was only good for like 3 episodes, like actually good for the entire duration. So, although those 3 episodes were so good, I'm not gonna lie. So what? So the first episode was boring as fuck. The second one, like apart from the end, I think the end was good, like because they had a little bit of color. The second one was a little bit better. 3, 4, and 5, just from the top of my head. Episode 3, 4, and 5, when slowly was revealing what is actually happening. Yeah, I love mysteries. I know that shows do mysteries way better than movies, but that 3 episode duration, probably an A tier. But because the beginning was so boring, and then the end was horrible. I remember it was Vision versus Vision. Like how boring is that? Like come on, man. Nah. C tier. The thing with the show, yeah, when you watch a movie and you don't like it, it's like, oh, I just wasted 2.5 hours. You watch a show and you don't like it, you've wasted like what? It depends on the show. This show's probably like 5 hours. You know, you've wasted 5 entire hours. Like, fuck this. But I didn't waste it, but I wouldn't mind getting that 5 hours back, you know. Anyway, Falcon and the Winter Soldier I actually haven't seen. Loki I haven't seen. Wow, okay, I checked out during that time. I think that was during COVID 2020. I was busy playing Pixelmon, right? What If? Ooh, What If is so good. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I kind of want to. What If is sick. This reminds me of wow, I have way more A's and B's than I thought. Anyway, this reminds me of Detroit Become Human, when you can that game. That's an incredible game. One of the best games of all time. You can kind of control. Okay, you can't control in this show, but like everything's different depending on like the episode, depending on the timeline you choose. Not every episode in What If is good, but the good ones, they hit so good. The Doctor Strange one was good. The last 2, I think, when Doctor Strange came back as like the super ultra big Ultron, that Ultron episode was sick. The zombie one was alright. I think the ones that slapped hard. I want to watch season 2. That's how good What If season 1 is. It's probably, yeah, I'd say it's just about A tier. And yeah, Shang Chi, man. I like the main actor. I don't know his name, but he was good. Ooh, the action was also great. Especially, I know everyone says this, but the action up to a certain point was incredible until everything became more mystical. Like, you know, the rings were involved. When it was just the fight choreography, it was really good. I really liked Shang-Chi with the relationship of that chick. I don't know her name. She was actually really good though. They were a good pairing. The jokes were awful. Fucking shit. Oh my god, the jokes are horrible, man. It was exciting. probably a C. It's mid. You know what? I'll just put this in mid. But yeah, I don't mind this movie. Eternals, yeah. Alright, Eternals. So, Eternals is bad. Okay. Oh wait. Okay. I've talked about this movie quite a bit with my friends, and no one remembers this. I don't know why. I'm sure you guys remember. During the entire duration of the movie, there's this Indian guy that takes a video of the Eternals. Fuck, I love it. He's the best character of the entire franchise. He's fucking hilarious, man. Like, oh fuck, I don't remember the jokes anymore. But he was just like, I remember he was just in the background, like just taking a video after like this intense fight scene. And I just start fucking cracking out laughing, man. That villain, that Indian was great when he was taking photos. Everything else was shit though. The villains, no. Oh man, they had such a missed opportunity. I know I said I don't care, but the design of the villain, the one that looks like Venom and like has like these fucking snake things coming out, that design, I'll put a picture up. That design is amazing. He looks incredible. I was like, holy shit, this villain's great. I hope he becomes something. And then he's the worst villain ever. He just dies. So okay, great. The Eternals characters were horrible. I could not care less about any of them. The fact that they existed before any of, like before Infinity War, before the Avengers, and they never helped out. They never gave an explanation why. I know it's nitpicky and all that, but I don't know. This movie didn't even need to exist. It just did not need. I don't know why they made it. Horrible movie. Actually, you know what? It's F tier. Okay. The thing with F tier is that they're boring. I wouldn't classify Eternals as boring. It's just bad. Yeah, Iron Man 2 is also boring. Wait, why is Iron Man 2 here? I'm not sure. Eternals better than Iron Man 2, but yeah, okay. Hawkeye, I haven't seen, but I might see it. I like Hawkeye. Oh my, okay. I have mixed feelings. So, I watched this as a first date with someone, and so it has a special place in my heart because of that. But the movie itself, I cried. I cried during this movie, man. And for the life of me, I don't know why. It was when Aunt May died, and then Peter Parker was like upset over it. I cried over that, and I had a little tear. That's probably the only time Marvel. Is it? Yeah. The only time Marvel. There was another movie that almost made me cry, but man, this movie was so cool. From what I've heard, if you watch this movie by itself, it's horrible. But I've only watched this in the cinema, so my experience of it was. This is also one of my favorite cinema experiences, actually, up there with Endgame and Interstellar, because of the hype. But no one, at least I didn't. I didn't know that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, by the way. He's horrible in the second one, but The Amazing Spider-Man, I really like that movie, it's a huge surprise. I like Tobey Maguire as well, so it was a huge surprise for that. The midpoint reminds me of It Chapter 2, where they're fighting each villain. Like this is Act 2, okay, the entirety of Act 2, at least from what I remember. Spider-Man fights villain number 1, and then he fights villain number 2, and then he fights villain number 3, number 4, number 5. Fighting villain like the entire act, it became very repetitive. If you've seen It Chapter 2, it's one of my least favorite movies, because Act 2, I know this is Marvel, but I want to talk about this. In Act, like the middle 50% of the movie was just repetition of character meets it, gets jump scared. Next scene, character meets it, gets jump scared. I'm already bored of this. That's 3 more times, 5 times I think, for shit movie. But this movie reminds me of that. So it's definitely the worst out of the Spider-Man movies, which may be a hot take, but in terms of cinema experience, this is the best one. In terms of a film, in terms of what, like, basically in terms of film, he's probably, I'm not gonna lie, easily the worst. There's no incredible twist like in this one. There's no like, this has a good twist as well actually. But yeah, man, I've got a. It's mid. Nah, I can't put it mid, man. It's B. It's B tier. At the time, I loved it. At the time, I remember. At the time, I said the best Spider-Man movie. I don't think that anymore at all. Like I thought it was better than Spider-Verse, man. Because out of my mind. Ooh, good show. Fucking good show, yeah. I want to rewatch it. That's how good it is. Moonknight was sick. Oscar Isaac is one of my favorite actors. He's so good. He's an incredible actor. I think that's his name, Oscar Isaac, the main guy of Moon Knight. I didn't know who he was before I watched this show, so his powers are incredible. Probably my favorite powers of anyone in the entire series. As you know, I like mysteries. It's not really a mystery show, but it's got some mystery aspects. The acting is incredible. Bro, Oscar Isaac has to play... When you have to play two characters in one shooting... Tom Hardy did it in Legend. And there was some other performance. But that's so impressive to me. Okay. And then Will Smith did it in Gemini Man. But come on, man, that's a shit movie. He gets no credit. But Legend performance from Tom Hardy. One of the best performances I've ever seen. And Oscar Isaac is right up there. He's probably the best performance from an actor in the whole trilogy. I think it's so impressive. I don't think he gets the praise he deserves, man. Like I could never play two characters at the same time, like in the same day. Like I don't know if he should in the same day, but that's crazy to me. Like, good job, man. Good job. Okay, in terms of the story, every episode, I remember being engaged every single episode. Especially like the last 3 or something. Or maybe not the last one, but leading up to the last one, I was very engaged. I wanted to know what would happen next. I don't remember many other characters apart from like the villain, like the. No, he wasn't the villain. He was the huge fucking beak person. I don't know. I remember the characters, but I just remember Moon Knight being sick. To be fair, it's been a while since I've watched it, but it's so good that I rewatch it. I don't rewatch shows, so yeah, good show. Oh my goodness. I watched this with a group of friends. We laughed the entire time. It was so shit. This is where movies from Marvel got really fucking shit. Was this movie. Oh my days. So, oh my god, I have so many complaints. Okay. This movie, yeah. It's got Doctor Strange. It's got WandaVision. It's got characters from Multiverse. All have like projectile, like shooting cannons, fucking shooting like magic and all that. They're combating each other like they're fist fighting. Why are you fist fighting? It's a fucking magic versus fucking guns and they're fist fighting. Action is shit. What's her name? Scarlett Johansson? No, what the fuck's her name? Scarlett. You know what I mean? The main villain of this movie, who was turned into a villain. Very well done in WandaVision. I'm convinced that she's a villain through WandaVision, but at the same time, this movie doesn't convince me that she's a villain because she wanted to bring her kids back alive or something through the multiverse. Yeah, that was dumb. Yeah, that was bad. Sorry, I'm laughing because of what my friends were saying the entire time. But what else? Why was this shit? Again, forgettable. I don't like forgettable movies. What else happens? Oh yeah. Oh my days. So someone dies. Oh, I forgot who it was. But I remember Wanda was versing like 5 characters from the multiverse. One with like voice power, one with I don't know. But she killed them by like throwing rubble on them. And it was like a 2-minute fight scene. I was like, okay, well I guess that entire plot line is gone now. That's a shit movie, man. And at the end, when we're at the top of the mountain, in the snowy mountain, and then he was summoning the rock things. Bro, this movie's shit. I don't care. I don't remember it. Oh my days. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, I haven't seen this. I was saying shit things. This movie is horrible. It's so. This might potentially be my least favorite movie of all time. I'm being genuinely serious. This is my least. It's so shit, and it sucks because I watched it with my dad. I remember I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch a movie with my dad. It's been a while. And we watched the shittest movie, man. Boring, horrible. The worst jokes I've ever heard, bro. I watch a lot of Adam Sandler, right? I watched a lot of shit comedies. This is the worst fucking jokes I've ever heard. Oh, and Christian Bale is so good. Okay, that's the only reason why this movie may not be the worst movie, because Christian Bale is I love Christian Bale. He's really good. But everything else, okay. Thor is horrible. The worst scene in the entire... Oh, it's going for an hour. The worst scene in the entire trilogy is those goats screaming. Bro, I couldn't... I wanted to leave the theater. I've never left the theater, but if I had to choose a moment, it would be that moment. It was shit. I think... Were Guardians of the Galaxy in this movie? I don't remember. But if they were, fuck them as well. There was a scene where... Oh my days, this scene. Where... I think... Was Matt Damon in this movie? Playing as Loki? That might have been a different movie. But there was a scene where it was Loki reenacting his death. Like someone playing as Loki. With Odin and with Thor. Wait, I might be getting this... I may be getting confused. No, I'm not, because this happens in Thor Ragnarok as well. But there's some shit scene that happens in Love and Thunder, where like that was also horrible. It kills the pacing. The action was shit. Oh my god! And then the girlfriend, I forgot her name. She becomes Thor as well. She has cancer. Sorry, that's not why I'm laughing. She has. Man, she has cancer, so they cure it by becoming Thor. Like, come on, man. Yeah, no. Shit movie. Horrible movie. I forgot to mention it, but it's also a shit movie as well. I feel so bad because Taika Waititi made so many good movies, and then he made Free Guy, which is bad, but not that bad. You know, like, he could have easily like revitalized his career with a good movie, and then he made Love and Thunder. His career's in a ditch right now because of how shit that movie was. Yeah, no, never watched it. She-Hulk I never watched, although it's funny. Werewolf. Never heard of that. Wakanda Forever. I've actually never watched it, but apparently I heard it's good. I haven't watched it either, and I heard it's good. Have you noticed the theme? I stopped watching because of Love and Thunder. That's how shit Love and Thunder. Except for this. This movie's good. It's not as good as the first two though, but it is good. Is it B? Nah, it's a C tier. I reckon it's a C tier. Remember how I said this movie made me cry? The third Spider-Man movie? This one was very close. If this movie was just about Rocket, it may be A or S tier. Rocket the Raccoon was portrayed so well. That entire storyline, the way it ended, the way it started, like the tragedy, bro. That's when I almost cried. When Rocket Raccoon was fighting the villain, you know, he's shooting towards Rocket and he avoids the bullets. He turns around, they're all dead. That was crazy. That almost got me. I'm not gonna lie. That was really well done. Similar to the first one, it's a bit too silly, too campy for me. Although not as much as the first one. To be honest, I was rooting for Rocket the entire film. I'm sure as like most people, and because of that, I wasn't as invested as in the other storylines. That golden guy, he did not need to be in the movie. I forgot his name, but he's shit. The villain was alright. He looked horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot his name, but he didn't look good. But his motivation was to he wanted to recreate Earth because he wasn't a fan of the original. You know what? Fair enough. Fuck Earth. Earth is not that great, but and so, you know, decent motivation, decent villain. But yeah, there we go. Wow. Okay. So top 3. You know. Thing with I don't like how Iron Man's not in S tier. Oh man, Iron Man is so good, but the third act is so bad. Okay, this is my list. I did not expect to go for an hour, by the way. I was planning for this to be like 20 minutes. I ranted for way too long. Bro, what time is it? It is 9:30. I came home at like 8:20 or something. And I was like, you know what? Let's make a video on Marvel. Actually, no, I came home at like 7:30, but you know what I mean. Let's make a movie about Marvel. Bro, I've been wanting to make YouTube videos, but I just had no time. You know, uni started. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but uni started and I've been busy with that. I'm making a short film. I'm going to upload that short film on YouTube. It's going to be out in 2.5 months. It's due in 1.5 months, but I want to upload it to YouTube a little bit after. I can't wait. I can't wait to be a filmmaker, man. I don't know what I want to be. The thing it sucks because the thing with Marvel movies, yeah. I keep saying that, but man, I look so white over here. What about here? Yeah, nah, my lighting setup is shit. Anyway, in terms of like studying films, I don't think you should study these films. If you want to study like how to hype up the audience, if you want to study marketing, I feel like these movies are good. But in terms of like the 3-act structure, in terms of twists, you know, every now and then there's movies that are really good, but just study better movies, man. Study Nolan, study How to Train Your Dragon, the movies I've studied. I would rather study them than these movies. You know what I mean? That's also why I didn't go that in depth. I kind of just said how shit the movies were, and you know what I mean. If it was I don't know, if it was Lord of the Rings, I would go like I could talk for an hour for each Lord of the Rings. And keep in mind, I'm not that big of a fan of them. I literally started watching them, that trilogy like less than a year ago, like 6 months ago. But I can say more about those movies than all of these because, you know, they're entertainment movies, or as people say, popcorn movies. You know, you're there to have a good time. And then there's movies that do it too often, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like that's a bit too much fun. Which I know that's kind of a horrible argument from me, but that's just how I am. 2016, 2018 is peak Marvel. Everything from Multiverse of Madness and beyond, shit. Including the shows, which I haven't seen, but I've heard they're horrible. Yeah, so big fan of Marvel, very big fan. I prefer DC because of the games, because of the shows, because of the animation movies. But I do like Marvel, and I'm very glad I watched all of them. Okay, this. If I had to give the biggest praise, is how well, like how organized those first 11 years at Marvel were. The post-credit scene, like for example, the post-credit scene of the Avengers 2012, Thanos is in it. They're foreshadowing 6 years into the future, and in between the 6 years there's like 10 movies or something. That's crazy. Like, what other franchise has done that? Like, the amount of like fan service they've done for the fans, the amount of like, there's a reason everyone loves Marvel. There's a reason everyone's upset with the recent ones, because how much they love this franchise, how they shut on it. All this is off topic, but DC are rebooting everything, which I'm not gonna lie, it's probably a good decision. They weren't going anywhere. Marvel might need to do the same, because the recent ones, like no one's watching She-Hulk season 2. No one's Werewolf, which I've never even seen. I'm gonna search it up after. But yeah. Anyway, I've been talking too long. Good series. I would give this ranking a solid 8 out of 10. I don't know why I'm rating my own ranking, but yeah, it's been fun. I want to upload more. I originally wanted to do essay videos for my YouTube channel, which I may eventually do, but you know, uni. I want to take uni seriously. This is my first I've only been there for like 2 months and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to prioritize uni. Maybe at the end of the year when I don't have uni for like a couple of months, I'll do essay videos. I want to make an essay video on Man of Steel. That movie is incredibly underrated. But yeah, I think for now I'll just make tier list videos because I just enjoy it. So anyway, thank you for watching. 1 hour and 9 minutes. I'm sure it's lower with editing, but that's crazy. I wasn't planning on that. I'm going to bed in 20 minutes. Actually, probably in like an hour because I always stay up. I'm gonna have these Oreos, which I bought for $4 for 2 Oreos. Too much, but whatever. Yeah. Hope you guys have a great night. Goodbye.